Welcome to Spam Filter for Your Brain, bite-sized ponderings on how our thoughts influence our behaviour and our lives, and because we're all connected, how our thoughts impact the world. I'm here to help people reconnect with their bodies and declutter their brains. And I don't believe that we should just magically know how our emotions and our thoughts impact our lives if no one ever teaches us. So let's learn this stuff together. There's something very specific that happens on a lot of coaching calls when people first come across my work or they first come into coaching calls that I notice it preventing people from being able to make the kind of transformations that they want to within themselves and within their wider lives. And it becomes quite apparent when someone arrives with something that they're trying to work on, quite how much progress people within self-care school have made on themselves and their own thinking and creating their own agency from the way that they tell stories. And what I mean is this. Quite often someone will turn up to a coaching call and they will give me a huge amount of detail on the backstory, what's gone on, and how difficult it is because of other people. And the key part there is the because of other people. Quite often people would disappear down rabbit holes of, she said this, they did that, he won't stop doing this, why does he always do this? There are many spirals of finger pointing towards other people, and people want to give me a lot of details as to why they're having such a hard time because of what the other person's doing. And this episode of the podcast, I wanted to give you a really useful little brain hack that I use in a lot of my coaching sessions, and I find it really fundamental when you're starting to do this work. And that is that whenever you are starting to look at a story that involves someone else and you think that they're a problem or it's definitely their fault, just pause for a minute and look at the story that you're telling yourself. And you can ask yourself, why is this a problem for me? And it's that for me, bringing it back to yourself, how you want to respond, what you think about it, that gives you a sense of power and control and agency over your responses rather than their actions. I would love to be able to give you a magic wand that enabled you to be able to control what other people do and don't do in your life and create all kinds of things that where they stop doing all of the things that cause you so much problems. But I haven't found it yet. And because I haven't found it, what I can do is give you the one thing that I know that will help, and that is to try and make sure that you are monitoring and observing your own thoughts and your own emotions so that you can make active choices about the responses that you have to stuff. So the key way to be able to do this is when you are telling a story about someone else or something that is a difficulty, try and work out what is it for you that is a problem about that. So maybe it is you don't want them to do it, but they are. Maybe it is that you have a belief system that people shouldn't behave in that way. Maybe it is that you feel hurt or that you feel rejected or that you think that there is a set of rules that you learn about how people should and shouldn't behave in these circumstances. So when someone else does that, you find it kind of offensive. So just notice what the story that is coming up for you is, rather than what the action they are doing is. And from there, you can kind of untangle it a little bit more and then bring it home and make the choices that you want for your life going forward. Because as long as we're losing ourselves in someone else's story, we have no control, no agency, and no ability to be able to regulate our own emotions because someone else has just run away with all of our power. So bringing it home to yourself just allows you to have a little bit more space, a little bit more presence, and a little bit more awareness as to the role you play within a dynamic and the kind of relationships and interactions and patterns that you want to create going forward. So very simple trick this week, but it is really useful. Do try it out. Drop me a little message. Let me know how it goes for you, and I'll speak to you next week. If you've been enjoying what you're hearing on the podcast, you will love Self-Care School. Self-Care School is longer versions of this, more in-depth and more personalised. We have a whole hub of courses from body image to boundaries, perfectionism, time management, and a whole range of other topics. You name it, there's probably a course on it. But most importantly, we also have a weekly group coaching call where you get to apply this stuff to your everyday life and get support to try and untangle your own story from some of the emotions that you might not be enjoying in your life. If you would like to learn how to apply this work to your specific situation and to be building a life of your dreams, I would love to see you inside. Do pop over to selfcareschool.co.uk.